Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. Total disbelief at Ford Field.
He may go all the way to the 20 down the right side, and it's Randall Cobb to the 5, to the end zone, to the touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green and Golden Boys Packers podcast. This is the podcast for Packer fans who think it's better late than never. I am one of your hosts, Charles, and with me is Marcus. Marcus, happy game day to you.
Happy game day, Charles.
Here we are, Sunday morning. All week we were texting, when are we going to get this up, when are we going to get this up, and finally here we are at 8 a.m. on game day, but I think it's worth it. I think most of our fans listen on Sunday as they're getting pumped for the game, and we got an evening game tonight, so I'm pumped. But before we dive into the matchups, what we're looking for in tonight's game, since we didn't have a talk since the Lions game, even you and I privately, overall, quick recap on the Lions game. How'd you think our offense fared? How'd you think our defense fared? Are you satisfied with the improvement from week one?
Satisfied? No. I think it was a positive step in the right direction for sure. The first 6 quarters of the year, the defense kind of got their butts handed to them. A lot of points scored. The Lions seemed to have no problem moving the ball the first half last week. So it was nice that Joe Barry and Matt LaFleur were able to make some adjustments in the second half and kind of shut them down. Also nice, we got a couple of turnovers, a couple of fortunate bounces there with that fumble from Jared Goff. But, we were able to capitalize, which is the important thing. Sometimes you got to just take what the defense gives you or what the opposition gives you and, able to put up some points in the second half. Aaron Rodgers looked a lot better. He missed a couple throws. I think he would even say that. And in fact, I think he did say that, a couple to Marquez Valdes-Scantling that he wants back. But, the throw to Devontae Adams on the right sideline and then that bullet to Robert Tonyan, which I'm sure everybody's, kind of heard this all week, but two of the best throws I think we've ever seen him make, and I think that drive was nominated for drive of the week.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced he should not have hit who was the receiver open below Tonyan.
Maybe Lazard.
Lazard, yeah. Hell of a throw, and that's why you have a MVP quarterback on your team. But I still think he was wide open and maybe even could have got pretty close to scoring himself with how much space he had. But hell of a throw. That was definitely cool to see. I'm with you though. I'm not 100% satisfied with everything I saw either. To your point, we had some fortunate bounces, and like you just said, hey, we made some really good adjustments in the second half. I'm wondering how much of it was adjustments and how much of it was the Lions being the Lions, right? Like a terrible call on 4th down to essentially turn the ball over for us on a key drive for them. We haven't stopped the run all day, and they don't run the ball up the gut on 4th and 1. They have that incomplete pass to the outside on Stokes, rookie cornerback, which was a nice breakup to see, but still an interesting call. And then that fumble basically sealed the game for us. Again, it's encouraging. We were supposed to win by that much. I think if you recall, I predicted a very similar score to what we saw. I think I was about a point off on my prediction segment, so I'll take the victory there. Improvements, but are we ready to play in the NFC Championship game this weekend? No, we're not. Good news is we're not there yet, and fortunately we're still in the regular season, and we have a tough task at hand with the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is the 4th consecutive year we've played the 49ers, by the way. I'm not sure how many of them have been in San Francisco, but it feels like all of them. As we're looking at this game, just without getting into players and strategies, just how are you feeling about going all the way back to several years ago in the NFC Championship game, losing to the 49ers? I mean, in general, are we afraid of the 49ers? I mean, are they our nemesis yet? Are they our kryptonite? How are you feeling about the 49ers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, they're definitely a team to worry about. They've got one of the greatest coaches in the league in Shanahan, and he always seems to be able to scheme up whatever he wants against the Packers defense. And, they've got some really good offensive weapons as well, but, I just I'm a little more concerned about our defense in this game than our offense. I think our offense is going to be able to move the ball, put up some points, but with some of the ways he's able to scheme guys open and just kind of have, essentially, I won't call them no name, running backs, but they seem to be able to pick whoever they want, plug in and play, and then have, a 300 yard running game that day. And it's just like, I don't know what we have to do. I don't know what we can do against him to stop that. But I'm just having nightmares. Go ahead.
Well, they're going to be at it again. I forget the rookie's name, but two of their running backs are out. And to your point, this offense is just kind of known for having plug and play. Doesn't matter who's in the backfield. They're going to have a day on the opposing defense, and I don't think we're really known for our run stopping. So definitely a point of concern for me as well.
Yep. For sure, and I guess a couple of positives, or silver lining, I guess, is that we're not going to see Raheem Mostert, who destroyed us in the NFC Championship game in 2019.
Yep.
I think he's on IR, and I think he's having surgery, so he may not be back.
He's done for the
year. Yeah, he's done for the year. Okay. So I guess that's one positive, but again, it didn't seem to matter who they put in there. They just seem to be able to run all over us. So I'd like to see us be able to disrupt the run a little bit this weekend, get after Jimmy Garoppolo, just try to win the line of scrimmage if nothing else when we're on defense. If there's one thing we can do in this game, I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, 100% right. I mean, Garoppolo last week had I heard this on the radio this week, a league low of having the ball travel less than 4 yards past the line of scrimmage on average on his throws last week, right? So these guys aren't a deep threat. I think Ayuk is the only Brandon Ayuk is the only wide receiver I think any of us can really name off of this team, and he's kind of had a suspect start to the year for how great he looked last year. I think he had like one catch for 6 yards. Yeah, looking it up right now. One catch for 6 yards in last week's game. So very questionable, a very interesting start to what I thought was a great young receiver. But besides that, they have really no one else. So it's really coming down to that run game, like we talked about, and then Kittle, right? I mean, we can't. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll disagree with you there for a little bit, because, Deebo Samuel is the guy that he was the leading receiver against us in the championship game a couple years ago, and he's a guy that can beat you, if you let him. If they've got a matchup that they like, him against Kevin King or him in the slot, whatever it's going to be, there's opportunity there for them to kind of lean on him a little bit in the passing game. But then you're right. They've got one of the best tight ends in the game in George Kittle, a guy who, again, is a bad matchup for us. I don't know what you do about a guy like that. I don't know if we try Eric Stokes, and I don't know if we're going to try to play man, or if we keep Jair on his left side, or what we do to try to stem the bleeding when it comes to those two. But they've got a couple of guys that can be dangerous in the passing game, and
for sure. But I guess my point is, and let's maybe not be the exception to the rule. They haven't been going downfield for that big play, so keeping everything in front of us is definitely going to be a tall order for us today, because this is a defense who allowed the Lions and obviously the Saints to just march down the field with ease. It seemed that opening drive in particular, and really the first half, the Lions had their way with us. It's I think regardless of their weapons and regardless of who they have, let's just not give up that big play, and keep this manageable and hopefully get off the field, right? I can see the 49ers just draining our defense with long sustained 6-7 minute drives, for field goals or for touchdowns, and I think that's a losing recipe for this defense. So I think this is a huge game again. I think we say it every week, but our defensive front, we got to get some more pressures. We got to get Garoppolo off his mark, and we got to get a couple 3-and-outs. And I think most people said 3-and-outs are essentially a turnover. And have we had one yet? Do you recall 3-and-out against any of the teams these first 2 weeks?
None come to mind, but we had to have a few. I think we definitely did against the Lions because I think we traded 3 and outs
in the game.
I think actually in the first half it went touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown for both sides. I think, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I mean, our defense definitely needs to be able to get pressure. I mean, I think it starts with stopping the run because, like you said, Garoppolo is not going to make a ton of long throws or. Again, we don't want to be the exception to the rule and have him just ball out this game. But I think if we, like you're right, if we can keep everything in front of us, kind of mitigate those big plays, I think we're okay. But we have to get off the field on third down. To your point, we can't be in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and then let them convert those.
Yep.
That is just a recipe for disaster for sure, and this is going to tire our defense out, and then mentally and physically because. When you're in those situations and you continually let the team convert those 3rd downs or 4th downs, it's just draining. They just I think the confidence is shaken and it just becomes a lot to handle. So
and on top of that, it keeps.
Yes, go ahead.
It keeps the it keeps the more important side of the ball, I think, on the sideline, and let's shift gears here a little bit and talk about our offense. I think on the top of everyone's mind, the news that Elton Jenkins is not going to be playing today. Obviously, Bakhtiari is still not available for us for a few more weeks. And we have a fierce defensive line in the and San Francisco 49ers, Bosa in particular, staring down Aaron Rodgers and trying to have his way with him like they have the last 2 years. Obviously, last year they had their JV squad out essentially, so that's kind of the exception to the rule. But offensively, to win this game, I personally think it's going to have to be a shootout for the Packers to win. So I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I mean, what are you thinking, or what are you looking at offensively that the Pack have to do to make sure that we finally get a win in the state of California?
Yeah, so I mean, you talked about our offensive line. We're going to be missing our 2 top offensive linemen in Jenkins and Bakhtiari. I think the key is, I think we need to work the run like Matt LaFleur always wants to do, but I think the key is going to be Aaron Rodgers getting rid of the ball as quickly as humanly possible. He can't sit there and
100%.
wait 3-4 seconds for something to develop downfield. If we've got Mercedes Lewis blocking on a play action and he's open 3 yards out, hit him. You know what I mean?
2 seconds, 3 seconds, get rid of the ball.
Exactly. If we've got play action to Aaron Jones and he rolls out after throwing a block, hit him. We can't sit here and wait for Devontae Adams to get down 30 yards and wide open. We can't wait, for MVS to go down 40 yards and then, hit a long ball. Those are going to open up as the game progresses if we can be successful with these shorter passes. But we can't afford to have Aaron Rodgers holding the ball. He just needs to get rid of it. Take what the defense gives you. Look, go through your progressions, sure, but hit what you have. Don't try to force it because this is a team that's got they've got an all-pro pass rusher in Bosa, and you're just not going to have the time that you want, especially with 2 rookies and our top 2 defensive linemen or offensive linemen out.
100%. And speaking of 2 rookies, I believe they have 2 rookies playing at cornerback. This could be a great game for our guy Devontae, but maybe in a different way than we expect. But what we've been seeing, specifically last week, we got the ball, the cliche is get the ball in your playmaker's hands, right? Jones, Devontae. That stat that I mentioned about Garoppolo a little bit ago, average downfield pass, 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. I love that. Wide receiver screens, get Cobb out there blocking. Let's get Cobb involved on those quick hitters. I'd love to see Amari Rodgers get involved there. But those quick hitters to suck up these rookie cornerbacks, and then when like Rodgers will do, expose them deep when they're cheating a little bit too much. But
right.
Before we talk too much about that, would you be shocked to hear that despite their the 49ers defense pass rush, they actually ranked 26th through 2 games only, so stats can be skewed, but they ranked 26th against the run stop. And they've played the Lions and the Eagles, not exactly playoff teams. So
interesting.
The cliche, again, is always run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.